Welcome to our EQ SYMPHOLIGHT tutorials, and this time we will talk about cues. If you place two videos in a sequence, and if you play now these videos, you will have a jump between the two videos. And this is a good time to introduce cues. You may know cues from the lighting application suite from the programmer, but cues in SYMPHOLIGHT are something completely different. Cues are elements which are used for fading and for control. To create cues, either point into this track, the cue track, click the right mouse button and create new cue. You can then resize the cue to the size of the first video. You see this snapping, and snapping can be switched on and off in the sequence with this icon. The second way to create a cue is to double click into the cue track. And now also a cue is created, and I will adjust it to the size of the second video. Cues also have properties, and these properties can either be taken from the sequence or they can be defined individually. In this case, I will take the properties of the cue from the sequence. I click into the sequence, and in the sequence properties I have parameters for my cues. One is the cue skip mode, the fade in time, the fade mode and the fade out time. Whenever selecting a property, you have a help window below which explains the meaning of this property. These properties are properties of the sequence, and in the sequence I select a fade in and fade out time of 1 second, and I select the cue's fade mode to crossfade. And now these properties of the sequence also apply for the cues. If I now play this again, you see we have a fade in and a fade out. Even while looping the video on the jump back, there is a fade happening. And now the videos run smooth in this transition. In this case, this is a real crossfade. I can also select not a crossfade, but a fade from last frame. So this now is a fade which is taken only from the last frame of the video. This is one thing that cues are good for. Let us add two additional videos. And resize it to some seconds to have a better view. And I will resize this to the video size. I'll add another cue and another one. You can also use cues for control. You can skip backward and forward, and not only here from the control bar, but also with the triggers and actions in the automation section. So this is another application of cues, control. There's another little trick that is not obvious. If you keep the control key pressed while changing a cue, you can here see that the remaining cue is also resized. If I use no key at all, and I can use the Alt key and also the content will move. And I can combine the Control and the Alt key to adjust my sizing. Cues can not only be used for videos. They can also be used for effects. Let's take an effect and another effect. And now we have a fading for an effect. And the same, of course, for images and graphics. So cues in SYMPHOLIGHT are a fading operator in a sequence, and there are a control operator, especially when used in the automation area of SYMPHOLIGHT. And the automation with triggers and actions, well, again, will be shown in one of the next videos.